How you doing, everyone? Turkey Buzzard here. Hope you're having a good day. Well, I'm at Dunn Outpost again, and if you watched my video last week, you'll know that I was here at Dunn Outpost because I am building a huge western town. And I started here at Dunn Outpost, which consists of this small house, which is built for one lady. And I showed you the interior of that house, where 3 people live, and the inside of this log cabin built for 4 people. Then we came up and checked out this prospector's shack, and we ended up over here at this box canyon where a couple people have set up camp. That was pretty much it for last week's video. The end of the video showed a couple pieces of foundation for this particular building here, which I said was going to move into the shared space between the 2 settlements. And it did. And now that I'm building in Sunshine Tidings, I no longer need these boundary markers that I had set up, so I removed them. So this is one of the last 2 buildings in Dunn Outpost. It's Tracys Cafe and Coffee Shop. Although it's just a small cafe, she does do some business after hours. I try to do these videos during the day because, especially since they don't have electricity, it's kind of hard to see at night.
I'm hoping if we put our minds to it.
This counter I got from the Do-It-Yourself mod, which makes it easier to stack stuff on the shelves. This is the kitchen area. And the bathroom, which features a 2-seater. And believe it or not, these were quite common back then. I actually saw a couple of those back in the early 60s. Which I shouldn't be telling you because now you know I'm older than dirt. But that probably explains why I like a good western town. Anyway, this is where Tracy and her husband live. You'll notice I do a lot of decorating because I really like a place to look lived in and used. This is a small balcony where they can come out and drink coffee and look over the town. Over on this end you can actually see that there's quite a nice view of the countryside over here. So that's Tracys Cafe and Coffee Shop, and although it's not big, there's plenty of space for her and her husband. And her husband actually works across the street at the last building that I built at Dunn Outpost. Although it's kind of hard to see, it says Rocky's Gun and Ammo. So it's a small gun shop. And there's Rocky behind the counter. You'll notice he has some pistols in this display case, and down here in this one he has a nice rifle. He has some rifles and shotguns on the wall, has some pistols and ammo on display. You'll notice the gun posters, those are a mod which I will list in the description. And in the corner here he has a nice little display. So that's it for Dunn Outpost. Now we move into Sunshine Tidings, and as we go down Main Street, we see the Buckhorn Saloon. I decided not to use the saloon that they give us in the Unlocked Settlement Objects mod because it doesn't have any upstairs bedrooms, and I needed those. That's a busy settler leaning up against the wall there. I really like these batwing doors. I think they are so neat. It's actually a pretty good sized saloon. And if you look on the walls, you'll see a couple rad stags, which is how this saloon got its name. I gave them spittoons, which they don't really use, but hey, they had spittoons back then. So that footrest is actually, I built that using shelves, and to my surprise they actually use them. I've seen guys resting their feet on them while they're drinking. Each of these bedrooms has a wash bowl and a mirror with a couple of beds. They've been complaining about the bed situation a lot, so what I did was I put 10 extra beds in Dun Outpost and 10 extra beds in Sunshine Tidings, and then I went around and made sure to assign everybody to a particular bed. And they still complain about the bed situation, so it's probably a glitch of some sort with the game, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, that's the saloon. I really like it. I like how it came out. So that will bring us across the street to the next building, which is the school. I tried to make this building look as much like a schoolhouse as I could, and I don't think it came out too bad. Of course, you have to have a bell so that she can call the students to school in the morning. Inside you see students and a teacher, and that's actually part of a mod. You get a teacher's chair and assignable school desks. The only problem is you can assign students to the desks, but they don't bother coming to school. So I got rid of the desks and created my own desks and chairs, and now they come to school. I don't know why they're standing up. They might be saying the pledge or something, but whatever. Those outfits are actually a mod, schoolgirl outfits. And the schoolgirls themselves are children of the Commonwealth, and although it says children, they all look more like adults, but it doesn't really matter. Out here we've got some toys and sporting type things for the kids, so they can come out and play for recess. And of course you have to have the outhouse. And there's a lot of buildable space in this area, opened yet. So I want to keep building in this area. This is actually the other main path that comes into town here. Notice the mute fruit plants. So I want to continue building in this area. I'll probably put a small house right here or something, some type of thing. And I'll put some other buildings up this way. And there's a lot of build space still available over here, all the way over to that water tower. But anyway, this is the livery stable, and you'll probably recall that it was a steel building, but I changed that. I covered the side with logs so I can cover up the metal and the robot signs, make it look more Western. This is his outdoor workspace. And over here I pillar glitched a smelting pot down into the ground because I thought maybe he would want to make his own horseshoes or whatever. Inside you'll notice that I covered the walls inside with wood as well. I built him a small hay loft to store some hay in, and a small work area. Back here is where he sleeps. So he's got a decent area to cook and sleep and whatever. And back here is the animal pen. And I did have a Brahmin, but he wouldn't stay in here. Even though he had a couple of feeding troughs here, he would not stay here. He kept wandering up and down town, drinking out of the other troughs and whatever, and it just got to be a real big nuisance. So I shot him. And I guess that makes me a bad cowboy, but whatever. Anyway, this is Brielle's boarding house. I wasn't planning on building a boarding house, but I needed places to put beds, so I built a boarding house. This is the parlor area. And she has a nice dining room. She keeps the place pretty neat. Here's the kitchen area. That's Brielle there. She's cooking dinner for her boarders.
Yeah.
And over here is her bedroom area. Now the Place Anywhere mod allows you to place things outside the buildable space. This whole back section, this one section all the way down through, is all outside the buildable space. So thank God for the Place Anywhere mod. This is a small bathroom. And when I say small, I mean small. You have to close the door in order to use the sink. But it's an indoor bathroom, so. And upstairs, again, this hall is all outside the buildable space. If I was to build in the other direction, it would have took the house out into the middle of into the middle of the street. I didn't want to do that, so I built off the back side. And obviously, since she's cooking there outside the build area, the settlers will go outside the buildable area to work or do whatever. But each of these rooms up here again have 2 bedrooms, you know, a wash bin, whatever. So they have plenty of bed space. And although I wasn't planning on building a boarding house, I think it came out pretty nice. So that's Brielle's boarding house. As I said, there's a lot of build space over here that's wide open. So, you know, there's a lot of area left open that I could build. And it goes all the way up here to this cemetery. Yes, I built Boot Hill. I mean, you gotta have it. What cowboy town doesn't have Boot Hill? So this is all buildable area, and hopefully, you know, my game will allow me to continue this build without crashing on me or whatever, which can happen. I'm currently having a ton of problems with Sanctuary Hills. I'm going to do a video actually on it to show people what happens when you build beyond your limits to a point that the game has trouble keeping up. But anyways, this is this week's build, and I'm hoping you'll tune in next week to see what else I've done with this town. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it when you do that. And also, subscribe for more videos. I put out new videos every week. But I really want to thank you for watching, and I will see you again next week. But enough talking. I got to go in and have a beer.